So how do modern Egyptologists know all of the kings of ancient Egypt? One of the ways is by researching and recording something called a king's list. These are essentially lists that during ancient Egypt, ancient Egyptian pharaohs would record the names of all the kings that came before them. There are quite a few different lists. For example, this is the Abydos king list. And I can absolutely do more videos where we can talk about each individual king's list, but let's just talk about them in general right now. Here is a list of all the ancient Egyptian kings lists that we know of and what dynasty they were made in. There's only one from the early dynastic era and 3 from the Old Kingdom and Middle Kingdom, meaning that most of them come from the New Kingdom in the 18th or 19th dynasties. We also have one that technically doesn't come from an ancient Egyptian pharaoh, but from a Greco-Egyptian prince and historian Manetho. These kings lists also come in a lot of different forms as well. This one is actually in a cylinder seal, meaning that this was wrapped around in a tiny little, probably stone piece, and these were all the carvings on the outside. We also have large pieces on stone, which this is called the Palermo stone, if you ever want to learn more about it. This one from Giza during the Old Kingdom is actually made out of cedar wood, which in this case is particularly amazing that it survived this long. I already showed you my pictures of when I saw the Abydos king list in person, and this is the Karnak kings list, which was in a specific small little room, and this had just been recently constructed, unfortunately, because the pieces, which there are very little pieces of it surviving, are currently not in Egypt. And lastly, you're going to get a king's list made out of papyrus, which in this case is also extremely rare. And this is also probably one of the best ones. This is called the Turin Kings List, and it is the list that shows the most kings that have been listed on any of the other kings lists. Now, they're necessarily not going to name every single king, and that's either because they're only recording a select group of maybe the immediate kings before them, maybe even the ones that they know that they are actually related to, or they're not going to include kings that they don't deem as appropriate to have in this long list of kings who they are also considering like their ancestors, their legacy. So for the next video, let me know if you have any other questions, and I'm going to talk about the kings that are not typically included in kings lists.